Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Talking Shit ATL with your hosts Amanda
and I'm Prodigy Q.
And then our yawning canine friend is Teddy.
Teddy, yeah.
He's had a hard day at work. He's tired.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure it is hard to be him, as spoiled as he is.
I know. Whenever he whines, I really do tell him, I was like, your life is so hard.
Right? So
oh my God, it's so hard.
She's straight for a day, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, so what are we talking about?
So today, as we continue, just observing Black History Month, we definitely want to talk about, just some prolific women in the mainly film. We both kind of found women from the same kind of genre a little bit and kind of focused there. So it kind of turned into, I guess, now talking about prolific African American women who have made major contributions into the film industry, basically. So yeah. Did you want to start?
You can start.
Okay. So what I wanted to, I guess, first talk about, really mind, like, go into, I guess, something again, like, I mentioned and talk about, like, these women and things that they've done, but I think my focus point really has to really do with the kind of the unfairness as that African American women have had, and when it comes to, like, pay and really kind of getting their due, in this industry, and so not sure if you saw them. I don't know if you all have seen, like, recently, Taraji P. Henson came out with an interview, kind of speaking on that very thing, mentioning about how she's doing these major films, getting these awards, and that type of thing, and yet still, when it comes to residuals and those kind of things coming down, it not getting placed on women, and then of course women of color,
and even her salary itself is completely different.
Yeah, completely different. And I know, like, it was very, like, a touching, moving thing. I think one of the first things, like, the interview asked was, like, heard you was planning on quitting, I thinking about, retiring from it, and, it's kind of that kind of plaguing thing where it's like, you've worked your whole life to get to this point, and, this career, and to, have this platform, and, all these things, especially, with her beginning, trying to make it, and not have much in the beginning, and still being able to kind of soar and really push her way through. Especially, like, from her early stuff she's done to, like, major roles, and the stars of roles. She's, like, to really see her her journey as an actress and her career is definitely inspiring. You really kind of see her growth in how she really pushed through the ranks. And her talent definitely speaks for that. It's definitely no denying that she's definitely a very talented actress, of our decade, of our century. And so definitely, kudos to Taraji P. Henson in that regard, for sure. And we did mention, but of course we haven't. We talked about, we always talk about what we're going to do, but never really, and we try to not talk about the topic.
At all. Like, we try to basically have a main subject and then share no other information until we're talking with y'all.
Because there's a couple of times where we literally would talk about, let's do this idea, and literally start going into it. Like,
and then we're like, no, we gotta stop.
We gotta save it. So, but we did mention that you did see the interview, did watch the interview.
Yeah.
And as we continue to move forward and talk about everybody, I do want to ask, what was your takes on it? What was your thoughts? What was your, your opinion of it?
Multiple things. So, like, how I was even introduced to all of that conversation was actually I saw a meme randomly online that was like talking about like it said there was one thing that talked about the drama, and anytime you hear someone's name in drama, it automatically, at least for me, it makes me think that they did something wrong that people are talking about, and that like, ooh, like what did they do? Like this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then I actually learned the tea, and I'm like, what? How is anything like being like as a negative shadow over everything she said? Because everything she said was completely true.
That's just the clickbait of it all.
Yeah, I mean, but then I saw another meme that was like, okay, but you're asking for 500,000, like chill, like be grateful, you know.
And I do have some thoughts about that part. You know, I really did. You know, I mean, I do have some thoughts about that, and I mean.
Okay, so I get the thoughts behind it, but then it's like...
Because it was a lot. It's like you asked it for, you know, because at the end of the day, these contracts are for you and for your work, and you're talking about the fact that you have to pay a team, and I get what you're saying is that the caliber of star you are in that aspect, there, you know, one of you, you know, that has to trickle down, but at the end of the day, these production companies aren't paying your entourage. You know, they're paying you,
right? But you're paying your whole team. And that, listen, so like 50% of your income is going to the government, and then like 30% is who you're paying, and then another 20% are your bills and your family and everything. Plus she is supposed to be like, she is one of the greatest actors
I agree,
of all time. So then it's like,
it also costs to be the boss.
Yeah, but it also costs. It costs at any level of wanting to be an actor. It costs to even try to audition to hopefully get a job. And you know, like you get so many no's before you get yeses. So those yeses are like what could pay your whole life for a year.
Yeah, but then you talk about your life and other people's lives that's not necessarily directed to that particular production. That's the whole thing about it.
Because the agent gets a cut. Period. They get 20%, 10 to 20%.
But agent is necessary for the job. I understand that. But if you need an extra hair makeup person, if you need an extra this person and that person, because normally productions have all that. You see what I'm saying? Can a lot of them do it right?
I mean, but because there is also issues in productions in general where they do get hair and makeup people that don't know how to handle textured hair.
Okay, that might be true, but however, I just feel like if you're looking at it from that production standpoint, it's like that again. That's not.
And at the end of the day, she's still making less than white counterparts.
Now granted, yeah, it was, you know, I'm definitely talking about that part, but I feel like again, it's like.
And she also said in so many interviews that she's not just talking about herself when she's fighting this. She's talking about all the people coming up.
And listen, and again, I'm understanding those things. However, when you're talking about it's one two things. You're talking about your pay and your just pay of what you feel you're owed. That's one thing. But when you're talking about what you feel you're owed because you want to be able to, like I said, pay all of these extra amenities and these extra things that's not necessary for the role or the purpose or the direction, you know what I mean, of the, like I don't see how that's a producer's probably be like, so you could pay your people, who, you know what I'm saying, because everybody has a team, but that's not the, that's, you just need to find more work, find more jobs, find more supplemental sources of income to pay other things. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect one source, if your bills is $1 million a month, then you can't expect your employer to pay $1 million. That's not how life works. Like, I can't go to any of my jobs and say, you need to pay me more because I got more bills. They're going to say, you need to get another job.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, find other sources to make, these are your expenses. These are expenses you created. And you want me to pay for what...
That's not completely fair though, because it's not just like, oh, she thought up one day, or like different actors thought up one day, like, oh, I need all these people, like, but it's not really necessary. It's like,
but it's not, because at the end of the day, you're actors too, and you don't have all that.
Yeah, but I also don't have the like money, power, and everything else going on to do that.
I mean,
and that's why and that's probably why I'm not further along into my career because I can't afford a team.
I don't know. I feel like I just.
And it's like if I relied on like if I had the ability to just live off my acting, I 100% would, and it would.
But that's just like saying, okay, okay, I have a team of 15 people, 20.
And security you have to have.
However many people I choose to have, and I'm gonna go to you all and say, and again, that's where negotiations come from because it's saying, okay, well, if I know that because at the end of the day, these expenses, true indeed, is your problem. Separate from the production company,
which is why I don't think that was the main message. But she was just trying to break it down of like, $150,000 is actually me taking home $40,000.
Yes, because you accrued these extra people as a immediate life support. You try to like at the end of the day, like
I feel like almost all of it is absolutely necessary though, because like you have to have a security team. Sometimes you have to have your own hair and makeup people.
Pays the cost.
You have to have an assistant.
The boss.
You have to have.
Pays the cost to be the boss.
Right, but
that's not
the unfortunate part is that you feel like a boss with being an actor, but you're not the boss because you're still at the hands of the man.
Yeah, but I just feel like those kind of statements on the positions, like just like I felt like, a lot of the things that was being asked as far as like certain salaries and stuff, even with some negotiations, was based on a certain sector of our industry, and it's like what I'm saying, that doesn't apply to everybody on the level field of our industry. And I feel like those kind of things is that same kind of thing. It's like the struggling actress isn't.
I mean, it's not her compared to.
You know what I mean? But I was just saying,
she's not just talking about herself. It all comes from the top, right?
And it does,
and it trickles down.
And I get the overall message. Like I said, so we're going to focus there.
Yeah,
definitely, because that is the overall message. What she's trying to get across is that at the end of the day, they're not paid fairly. But I do have that juxtaposition just on that comment because it was just like, yeah, but they're not, I guess, supposed to be paying your whole, like every, you know what I'm saying, like. That's just not how any job works. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but any job is supposed
any level. On any level, no, because if
pay you enough for your bills.
You would hope, but not necessarily you signed up for that job.
Yeah, but and a lot of jobs definitely don't pay all your bills.
And they don't.
But it's supposed that's the world we're trying to work
exactly.
towards.
And
so I think that's the message of like. Yeah, it doesn't exist right now.
Yeah.
That's what we're all working towards.
I feel like that's going to be across the board on every level because at the end of the day.
Which is why I think.
It is a disadvantage on every level in every industry for sure.
Yeah.
Is that money gap is definitely there. I think, I was, I wrote it down. And I think it's, I think like African American women make
60 on average, 67 cents to the dollar of a white male.
Yeah. So, and I even saw numbers that was less than that. So, so that's just across the board in every field. But I will say, like I said, in just capitalist society and the society we live in, again, if one job isn't making your bills, and any finance person would tell you to do one of two things. Find another source of income or reduce your expenses. And that's what they tell you to do.
But a part of she can't go and work at the grocery store. So part of being in that world is she can't. She would still have to hire people to work at the grocery store to be her security. So it's like, but her openings for other jobs are like really starting more businesses, which also require more employees under you, and then you have to.
It costs to be the boss. At the end of the day, you want this position, this lifestyle, this thing you call, and you ask any CEO, that they're going to say the exact same things. Like I said, this is unfortunately the society, capitalism society we live in that designed in this manner. So, therefore, that's.
But those big bosses. It ain't costing them nothing. So that's the whole point.
But
the big bosses under the little bosses. I chose the wrong hand gesture.
Yeah, but like I said, you got to get it. Come on. They say every millionaire has 7 sources of income, and you a millionaire talking about with one.
Right.
You know,
but I don't want, yeah, so like we were saying, I don't want the whole point, the whole like that comment to take precedence in just her as an example.
As true.
Because it's really like sometimes you have to fix the top for the bottom to get something to eat. But like it definitely needs to. If it could start at the bottom, that would be great.
Right.
But the ones at the top with the power and the voice to speak out to get the masses underneath them, that's where it's gonna have to start.
Because that's and
this has been several times of the same conversation.
It has, and that's why I want to segue into as well a little bit, because again, I don't want to focus on that first half for sure. But because the overall message is that it is, overall message definitely is that the wage gap, and what I want to make reference to is that it's so crazy and ironic because Taraji isn't the first to have spoke about this, and I really want to make pay homage to, give respect to, and flowers to Monique, who the past,
she essentially got blackballed.
Yeah, blackballed. Let's go. Talk about all of us. The last 10 years have been just crazy. Almost 10 years of just that kind of struggle through it, and I think that talented actress and comedian, and and obviously I would definitely say a legend. In her field and beyond. I love a lot of what she's about and stands for. From the beginning of her career and even to now. I personally think she's definitely one of the best females to do it. And of course, within the last few years, she did get a lot of backlash, even when she first made the comments about not getting paid fairly, and which is kind of ironic too with Taraji P. Henson, because it was kind of like Taraji P. Henson came out, said it, and the whole world was like, "Oh my God, you gotta," and it, you have to. Oh, we need to fix this. We need to oh my gosh, I can't believe, I can't believe it's happening to her, And then when Monique said it, was just like, you're talking about, what I'm saying? Like,
and Monique is absolutely 100% gorgeous. Like, definitely drop dead gorgeous. But in the world, in how society treats people that have what I got, they got something to work with a little bit more. They don't treat them like the same. So there's definitely pretty privilege in the message now, combined with the fact of the time period and people accepting people speaking out and doing something.
But I always love how again, being one of and of course we talked about and the controversy surrounding her now, but we did talk about the whole Lizzo stuff and kind of of course early on the empowerment she had, but I feel like Monique has always embodied that. Even from the very beginning, and has always been the forefront in like that body image positivity, no matter what you shakes. I still never forget the BET Awards, where she did like Beyonce performance. It killed it. It was great, and it just. Even in when she was on the Parkers and stuff, and in a lot of her stand-ups, she's always making reference to her size, and not like to be the butt of the jokes or the clown of the jokes, but to always like be prideful in it. And it's always been beautiful just to see her her career.
Cause you should 100% It's just she's just speaking the truth. That the world is a little cloudy.
That's what it is.
We're trying to move the clouds away.
That's what it is. And so what I was looking at earlier was 2016 is when she kind of came out with the whole thing about where she wasn't making a lot of money, and this came from Precious, where she only made $50,000 for her role, and then her role ended up getting her a Golden Globe, Academy Award, and an Oscar, and yet she was still only given $50,000 for and the movie made $47.5 million in the box office, which is crazy.
That's
crazy.
Insane.
And and she said that of course she did it because she trusted the director, and there was conversations about her getting money on the back end, which a lot of those deals do happen. Okay, once this is what we give you first off, and then was ticket sales and all those kind of things. You get this and that and third. But what she was saying is even still that number one, by the time she even got that back in, you know what I mean, it still wasn't, probably significant because she should have been a multimillionaire. So clearly, even if she did get something on the back end, it definitely was less than $1 million for sure. Again, for a production that made 47 and a half million.
Maybe not by now, but I would think, I don't know. I hope that that she got more on the back end than that.
I don't think so, and I didn't see anything where they showed what she got, but I know she said that I know that her words was that I should have been a multimillionaire, and clearly she wasn't. So
no, definitely not multi, because I just looked up and she's worth her net worth right now is $9 million, and she's done a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, she should definitely.
Be way more up there.
Yeah, definitely way more. Yeah. And it's crazy which is so crazy because even going to that with the whole Netflix thing, which is even something even crazy to think that, all of her information and business, whatnot, but to say that she's worth that much, where even people for their Netflix specials didn't get paid, as much as, some of the other ones, and I think Netflix wanted to give her $500,000
something like
for
that.
her Netflix special.
About the part with the press tour and everything.
Wait, what? The press tour?
Yeah. So for Precious, Monique, they were like trying to pay for just her hotel and her flight, and they were like, "That's cool, right?" And then she's like, "No, need a salary for that." And they were like, "Okay, well, we'll give you a little cushier hotel room, and then we're good, right?" And then she was like, "Absolutely not. You need to pay me for my time." And then they were like, "Oh, blah blah blah. You should be grateful for this, and this will lead you to even bigger roles." And like not even acting like she's already done what she's already done before then. And all she was asking for is she's like, "I will go on the press tour if you pay me to go on the press tour."
Right, and I agree. Especially because, again, for $50,000, like, I'm not about to spend a year on tour. Now, and I granted, I'm getting what they're saying, maybe that publicity or whatever the case may be.
But they were like, "I don't like to give money away for free," and she's like, "Exactly, I don't like to work for free, so we're in the same boat."
Right. Right. I love that. I did see something mention of it, but I didn't look into it. But
that's when all her beef started with Oprah. That there was some with Tyler Perry. I don't know if they worked it out. I didn't.
Yeah, because I know that they were saying that they were the executive producers. Of Precious, so they were trying to really I guess really kind of convince her, like you said, you get a grade, this, that, and third, but it's like. Like you said,
So y'all are just getting but really they're getting the majority of the payout in that whole situation.
Right.
So, and they're still gonna get paid from that press tour with her talking about it. So it's like, okay, well then give her a chunk of the pie that she earned.
Absolutely. Especially, and I do agree with that. If you're doing tours and stuff, because like I said, that definitely, and I know that a lot of those things is part of, your. Promoting the productions of a movie, but I do think that those things should definitely be separate to what you've done, as far as the acting go, because those are literally at that point 2 different jobs.
Yeah.
And
you're taking time away from, she could get another opportunity.
Right.
And she couldn't book it because she's doing your stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And she was like, they really wanted her to go all the way around Europe. Like they wanted her to go on a whole ass world tour for free.
For free. No, that is how they say. Just be like, we'll pay for room and board.
Yeah, no.
No.
Absolutely not.
I would have to agree with that too. That's like you said, when you talk about taking away money then. So then I feel like if you're doing that and you have an entourage and stuff, then absolutely production should absolutely 100% cover all of that.
Yeah, because also a lot of the stuff with The Color Purple and Taraj and all of that, it just they didn't they had to drive. I don't know if you know this. They had to drive to and from set themselves, the actors, with no security, know, like, you know, they usually have drivers
Right.
that pick them up and take them, and then sometimes they'll get added security or they'll bring their own security, but at least, at the very least, they have drivers.
Right.
Like, you want them to drive home alone early in the morning, late at night, especially a bunch of women in it. Like, they were filming in Atlanta. It's like, you can't
Yeah.
you can't, like, and even if they were filming in LA, New York, like, you can't have them in big cities. You can't have them in small cities. It's safety is safety, and crime knows no zip code. So you can't have, like, big ass names, and also women who also get treated as, like, a less than or like a toy a lot of times in society. Like, you can't have them doing that. That's not okay. And then they all have to share the same trailer.
Really?
Which is so, yes, for the longest.
What?
They had to fight for, like, and then they were told to bring their own snacks.
Who?
Right.
What?
The actors.
What actors?
Like, the principals. They had to fight for that. Now, like, they did say, okay, well, Oprah got it together after, you know, a good amount of times of them being like, what's going on? Because they, like, cut costs. They had, like, $100 million budget or something and cut a bunch of costs, like, from talent and other areas.
What?
Yeah.
What were they trying to do that they couldn't?
I don't know. That's so
What?
weird
That
because
is
I've
weird.
been on way smaller budget things, and
Yeah.
they all had their own trailer. At max, 2 people would share a trailer, but they didn't even. In that instance, they didn't even share the same sides of the trailer. They had like a halfie and had their own side.
That's what I'm saying. Oh no.
Like, yeah.
Y'all might want to
So
look at some of the receipts.
right.
So,
Yeah, look into it, y'all, because it is wild.
There's
Like,
no way. Because that's what I was thinking too. There's no way.
no,
That budget
I
was
checked.
up- yeah,
I
that's
checked
wild.
multiple resources, so unless everybody's lying, and I didn't check places like, you know, the Sun and
I
those
was gonna ask,
gossip
like,
websites. I didn't check the ones that are known liars.
That's what I was going to ask. My
I,
first thing was, what production
I heard
company
it
was
from
this?
the mouth that, I mean, I don't know. It was on The Color Purple though, so, which is why also there was like they had to kind of change some of the press, like, because they were scared about the ratings. Like, basically, they all came back and was like, well, she did good after we asked, so then everybody, like, I don't know, so it didn't, like, affect the film as much, but people were going to see that film no matter what.
Right,
It's a it's a remake of a classic,
Right.
and it's based on more of, like, the, like, there's more of Broadway in it than the movie, you know, because the show came after, and then Danielle was already in the Broadway production.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, but no, I mean, I didn't hear that, which is wild. And, so with the Netflix thing, she turned down 500,000, because, of course, other specials and stuff was, you know.
Oh, Monique.
Was, want to make, you know, was asked to make more, or actually did make more. I had, like, Amy Shoemaker was given $16 million for hers. Dave Chappelle got $20 million for his.
You mean Amy Schumer, or is there?
Schumer?
Who is Amy Shoemaker? I'm sorry, girl. I do not know you.
Oh, no. she's a comedian.
Oh, I have a producer. Are you sure you weren't talking about Amy Schumer?
Let me see.
And it didn't autocorrect?
Oh, maybe.
Because, hold on. Because, I'm sorry. This is a tangent, y'all. Because I'm like, it's her. But that's her name is Schumer.
Oh, I probably, okay. It might have been a typo.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, little known comedian Amy Shoemaker back at it again. I found one with that last name, but it was a producer.
Wait.
And she's the comedian.
Okay,
She's stand-up comedian.
We
gotta double check.
Double check too. Like, I'm over here like, but I think this is. Hold on.
Because I know that I'm pretty sure my phone has auto-corrected her last name before.
Okay, I think so, because it's not even letting me pull up that person.
Yeah.
At all. Okay, I don't think. Okay, it's definitely. Yeah. Okay, definitely not. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Let's take it. Okay, get out of there.
Get out of here.
Okay. But yeah, she did, I think Jeff Dunham did was $16 million for their Netflix special. For her to get 500,000, is wild. It's definitely
Yeah.
wild.
And see, that's why it's even
wild.
more of like a 500,000 is a lot. But like
Yeah.
you compare it like apples to apples, and it ain't.
Yeah, and I feel like I mean to not even offer her a million is just still wild. Like to me, there's of course they're saying that Netflix was saying that they felt like it was based off of who what she would bring in, I guess, as far as viewers go. But I don't. I feel
That's
like
so disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree too. I feel like that's disrespectful too.
Yeah, and that's just a line that they try to say to get out of bullshit.
Yeah,
like
right.
I definitely feel like they don't.
Yeah,
and
like I said, I mean to say that again, it's not like she doesn't have a fan base and done things
Yeah.
she's done. So she'd be like, oh yeah, not many people gonna watch. We don't think a lot of people gonna watch you.
Yeah.
Demographic don't.
Also, do people even? Sorry, Amy. Love you, but do people even watch her anymore? So it's like, okay, you can't even.
Right, that's what they said. It was like that's what they said about that situation too, and about her. Sorry, Amy, but this is what they were saying. It was just like at the time she had sold out to what is it the big one in New York.
Madison Square Garden.
She sold out that. I think she had just did. I think a movie or did something major at the time, so I think it was just kind of like
the timing.
She like but I mean again I do feel like I said a little disrespectful for sure.
Yeah.
And so
Teddy agrees.
Yeah,
you can hear him.
he's like, look, give them they pay. And so but she did end up of course having a suit against them. Basically like discrimination and that type of thing, which I did find out that she did end up winning, but of course they want they didn't have to disclose what she made. I'm like, you disclose it everybody else, but I guess because she actually went through the legal route, they're like we're not gonna tell you, but apparently they did settle, and she actually has a special on Netflix. So
yeah, go watch it.
Yeah, so go watch it, check it out. She's on there. So I guess kind of full circle. And the crazy thing too, because a lot of her, again about the pay thing, because she was actually it's so ironic too. She was actually originally asked to do the role of Cookie for the show, and then she turned it down. Because
for Broadway, I mean for Empire.
For Empire, yeah. She turned it down because of the pay, and it's so crazy that then Taraji picked it up, and then now we back here for a circle. And she's crying about the same thing. It's so crazy, right? Like, but I do want to go back and talk about. I guess before you talk about her, because I do want to talk about again like how far back this has gone, for the most part. And what I want to do in that is also pay homage to Hattie McDaniel. And for those who don't know, she was actually one of the first actresses to win an Oscar. First African American woman to win an Oscar. Not only just African American woman, to win an Oscar, but she was actually the first African American to win in any category at that time. And so she actually won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress of again going with the win, and this was in 1940. And it's so crazy because it dates back so much to the point of where the highest person who was getting paid was of course Clark Gable, and he was getting $120,000 for his role in the movie. $120,000, right? Which is crazy.
Which he was the.
I won't say he was
main guy.
I think he was the main guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the main guy.
I'm like, I recognize the name, but until you tell me the character, then I'm like,
I didn't put his name, but
yeah.
But like I said, he was making $120,000 at that time, and the average salary for an actor was $1,250 a week was what the average actor was getting paid. Yeah.
It ain't what is that still the average?
I feel like it might be average.
I feel like it has to be the. I guess because I'm on the lower end of the outliers right now, so that's why. And then it's including the people getting paid a lot, so it's not like the average artist is getting paid that, but that's the average salary because of the big boys.
Yeah.
In there,
Right. But what was crazy was that for her role, she was getting paid $450 a week.
Oh my god!
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
That's crazy. And like just shows like how long this has been really going on, and that they've been paying me. Like I said, the first, I mean, she won other wars too, but I mean, especially during that time, I mean, already dealing with segregation and stuff like that. Like even during the tour, she wasn't able to even go to the Atlanta premiere because during that time, the hotel, the place they were doing the premiere at didn't allow blacks, so she couldn't even go to a lot of the premieres, and
yeah, I remember hearing about all this stuff because it's insane.
Insane, right?
Like,
you do all that, you get these awards, these accolades, you know what I'm saying, and this talent, you have this great talent, and like I said, these things happen. It was like when she died, and Monique paid tribute to her, which of course did lead me to really kind of looking at who she was as well, and to see that that she did this, and she was also the first woman to actually sing on the radio as well. And she actually has 2 Hollywood stars.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, she had 2 Hollywood stars, one for radio and one for her her acting role. Yeah, and it's just so crazy again how that. Like, the more I started looking at her, the more I was just like, again, like last year was like, this lady is just great because I mean, talking about paving the way, and I mean to get the discrimination a little bit from both sides because her roles was kind of, especially during that era, a lot of black people felt like it was kind of derogatory towards the movement. You're showing you as a maid and this and that third, and and we're trying to show ourselves different from that, separate from that. Which she made of her smart that she's like, listen, I'd rather get paid $700 playing a maid than get paid $7 being one. And I love that response, but again, it goes to show still that even though she's still getting paid a whole lot less and those kind of things, like that optimism that you still have to be grateful that you could be doing something completely different, despite how she was seen.
And it's like, and that backlash should have never gone to her. That should have gone to the people making the decisions and casting everybody.
Right.
Like, she's just trying to get paid and live and survive and do what she loves to do. Like, you can't come after her because someone else is treating her poorly.
Right. You gotta, and of course at that time, I mean, you had to get what we can get. And for a long time, those kind of roles we got and stuff like that anyway. Maids and, or, usually like thugs, all this stuff. But, but
but that's definitely the top's problem.
It definitely is for sure. And but I definitely think we praise them for the accomplishment they do. But it's so crazy again to have these accolades, which is the whole point of what we were trying to say in the beginning. To have this much talent and these accolades and still get pushed at the bottom of the barrel, especially for women of color. And what's interesting is this last point I'm gonna make about it, and the significance is why it matters is because as significant as this lady was and as impactful as she was in being a predecessor of other African Americans, even be able to get into this field, into this industry, and to have these awards, when she passed, her estate was only $10,000. $10,000. Wow. And it was so crazy. She owed $11,000. So the IRS sold all her stuff, including her Oscar, just to pay everything. So she basically died broke, completely broke. And that is why it's like significant. Yeah. It's so great. Isn't that crazy?
And Gone with the Wind was something that, and like, I didn't know a school that didn't have to watch the movie at least and learn about it and like, and reflect. So it's like, where are those royalties? Where is it? Where did it go?
Where did it go? And it was just crazy because, again, I think that is the underlying kind of message of it all, just because you can have this great talent, and we love these artists, as consumers. We love our Taraji P. Henson, we love our Moniques, we love and to just imagine them having all of this success, doing all this stuff, and then because they wasn't paid fairly while they were here, they still, that was Literally nothing. You know.
Well, and that's one thing I want to mention about Taraji P. Henson is she's had 93 nominations in various different awards, but only 39 wins, and only not she didn't even win, only nominated for one Oscar.
Really?
So people talk about the Oscars being an issue, and there's the proof in the numbers right there. Right. That's not the only one. The person I'm about to talk about, once we're done with this segment, has only won one Oscar.
That's one. Only one.
Yeah. Yes. Only one. But I just wanted to. Are you good? Because I'm about to go. Yeah. So.
Shout out to that lady Hattie McDowell.
Yes. For sure. So the best actor, like literally out of anyone, any gender, any race ever. Y'all already know, I bet you're saying it in your head, is Viola Davis. And she is never given her due. Honestly, I'm about to go into how her total amount of nominations and stuff, and it sounds like a lot, but honestly I feel like she should be nominated for everything she does in every award show that she's in, and I don't understand how anyone beats her. I don't care who it is or what role it is or how significant the movie was that year or whatever. I just don't understand how she doesn't beat them, because she is it's acting gold. Which is, I mean, she went to Juilliard, so you would hope with that it would be gold, because it is right. But she had, and this is among different award shows as well. She's had 245 nominations, but won 121 times. But out of those 121 wins, only one of them is an Oscar.
That's wild. That's wild.
But she got her EGOT.
She do got it. Come on, yeah. EGOT status.
And if you don't know, listening, an EGOT is when you get Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award.
Yes.
Which Tony Awards for Broadway. So yeah.
So that's really great of her. I was gonna mention her too, and I got kind of stuck on Miss Hattie, but because she's also had the same thing. I was looking for the reference,
and there's so many amazing. You got to watch all her speeches, because we won't be able to get through them. They're all incredible and so powerful.
I was trying to figure out who it was. Was it? Did she do a movie with? Was it Meryl Streep on it?
She definitely did.
Okay, I remember that there was an interview.
Because also people that compare her.
Yeah, in that movie, she or whatever they was in, she again it was a money thing where she wasn't actually given the right amount, and I think it was Meryl Streep that was saying she ended up going to the producers that was kind of either you pay her more type of thing or I walk to kind of thing, which is again I think very admirable for. For when anybody do that in different industries, speak for the underdog and
Doubt maybe.
Okay, what was it? Okay, I'm sure exactly. I just remember. I more so remember the interview press conference that they both did talking about that particular thing. And I meant to look it up just to find out what it was, but.
Yeah, if y'all find that interview, put it in the comments.
Yes, put it in
there. Link it in there, baby.
Yeah, so, but it's so crazy that, well, not really crazy, but I mean, I applaud for those kind of things, because I do think that it's necessary for everyone to get their fair.
And I am not taking anything away either from Meryl Streep in saying this too. She's an incredible actor, but still, I do not care who. You could bring me anybody and say, oh, well, they're better. No, you're wrong. Literally, because I never, ever, ever see her in a character. I always see someone's life being told through her. And I never, no matter how, eccentric any of her characters are, or how, far away they are from who she are as a person, they're always real, they're always there, they're always dynamic, and they always make a bitch cry.
Yeah, she's good. I definitely give her that. For sure.
So it's what the hell? Yeah. What is going on? She should be the highest paid person in Hollywood.
Yeah. She guys. got a couple actors. I think
Oh well, we gonna fight about that
we
because
might, but
you're wrong. You're all wrong. Because it's Viola Davis, baby.
I love Viola, but sometimes even though sometimes I really do have to give it to my boy Johnny Depp though, like to catapult you into a whole nother, like to me as far as acting go, that ability because in anything he plays, you really forget. You forget is him, and that's what I really love about his
Yes.
works is that you really.
I don't think that he has the emotional dynamic
Yeah, but I don't think that a lot of his
as.
roles don't play into that though. He does play a lot more character.
Yeah, but she plays character things too, and then she's still.
No, but she plays more like real life character. I mean, his characters are more like the characters he plays is literally out of a imaginary tale book somewhere. You know what I mean? Like ever since the head.
Yeah, but did you see the
like,
newest Hunger Games?
No.
She's in it, and she's incredible, and she plays a very character person.
Oh, okay.
Like it's still real. It's still close to like other things that she's done. It's not the same character like as Johnny Depp,
but I mean on that level,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like because I don't know how he does like it's crazy sometimes. Like when I look at his catalog, it's wild. Like how do you discover that? How did you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, and I am willing to put him up in the top of the list, but not the top spot. So
okay, that's cool.
that's my. She's always gonna be my number one. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, there's, oh my god, I wrote down so many of her speeches. I don't even know which one to share first. But I really like this. This is just, she's just talking about, like, what kind of story she wants to tell. And she's talking about, like, graveyards and, like, talk about the people that are lost that aren't here anymore to share their story. And that's very beautiful. What?
I was gonna say, and by the way, for those who also don't know, Miss Viola Davis is from South Carolina. For those who don't know, unknown fact or not known fact. So shout out to, of course, South Carolina. So specifically Moncks Corner, for sure.
Yeah.
Those who don't know.
Yeah. And she listed a bunch of so this is like definitely one of, I mean, every single one is so powerful. Like, you can't hear anything she says in interviews or speeches and not think it's powerful. Like, oh my god, I love her. But this is one that I actually didn't write down which award it was that you said this, but she quoted Harriet Tubman and said, "In my mind, I see a line," but she didn't say she was quoting them before. Like, she started out like this. "In my mind, I see a line, and over that line, I see green fields and lovely flowers and beautiful white women with their arms stretched out to me over that line. But I can't seem to get there, no how. I can't seem to get over that line." And then she talked about how that was a quote from Harriet Tubman, and then talked about all these different women of color in the industry and how, she's stepping over that line for them and hoping to, like, bring them over the line with her, and, like, that all these women are, like, still in the area of, like, seeing the line, approaching line, feeling like they're over the line. But she said that the only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity. You cannot win an Emmy for roles that are simply not there.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the way that they tell these stories and stuff too, I think I was reading that too, is like, I think Monique spoke on it too, is like, why is it that if there's a script or role or movie production, whatever, for, where there's an all black cast, it's under budget, low budget movie, and I think that, until, like I said, we really bridge those gaps and found ways to bridge those gaps, and I think what we're seeing is opportunity and room for everybody's story, and everybody's perspective, and there needs to be more of that in this industry. Just across the board.
Yeah.
And what's crazy that, again, information that people may not know, is that even though Tyler Perry has his own studio, he does these plays and these productions, and he does all these movies, but all of his movies still don't get played in all of the theaters, and that's crazy. You know, that's crazy. And so it says that even if you have your own production company and can do all these things, you still don't even get the outlet. And the outlet still isn't even there to accept kind of, you know, our works and our stories, and you know what I mean. It's again, it's wild that we're still kind of fighting on in the media for those seats at the table.
Yeah.
You know,
and like I feel like it's definitely it's hard to understand the full scope, like as a viewer just watching things, because it looks like things are getting better than they are as far as dollar bills.
Right,
like it's like, yeah, they did cast a person of color, woohoo, like genuinely woohoo, but also like, okay, but also they need to be paid the same. Like, it's not just about casting. It's about fair treatment, in every single aspect.
Especially when it comes to, you know, when it comes to acting and that kind of thing. Like, I don't even know how do you even make those discrepancies on the you know, on the cost of that particular, you know, that role or actor, or whatever the case may be. Like,
the call sheet says your numbers, and the numbers go based on who's the highest paid.
Which, that's what I'm saying. But how do you even come to that conclusion? Like, I mean, I feel like unless you're, I mean, I get if you're the, of course, the,
or at least how it's supposed to be, who's the highest paid,
the star of the movie or whatever, or you're the you're protagonist or whatever the case may be. You know, I get and understand, of course, why you would, of course, probably get paid top dollar. I get that.
Yeah.
But I guess where does the differences come in? This supporting actor over this supporting actor, and this person over this person.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do they come to these numbers where you can go from a person getting $1 million compared to 50 million? I mean, sorry, 50,000, when I'm not gonna say the same type of caliber of actor, but you know what I mean. Like, how do we break that down a little bit? Like, is it based on what ultimately people want to see?
Point blank, period. Number 1 should be like number 3 should be paid more than number 14. Like, number 3 should be paid more than number 4. Like, however you appear on that list, which is that list is made from like who's on it the most, essentially.
Who's in it the most?
Yeah, like, so, like on the show or TV show the most. Like, who has the most lines, essentially? Who has the most screen time? Like, who has the most like impact in the movie itself? That's how that list is supposed to go. And then that list is also supposed to state, like, okay, number 1 makes the most, number 2 makes the second most, number 3 makes the third most. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
So how do they, you know, how they come up with those numbers or that place?
Well, it's like, a lot of negotiations
10 lines,
where
you got 30 lines.
I don't know how they come up with the number, but I know they give a number, and then you're supposed to have negotiations, and then you'll go back and forth for a while, and there's a certain period of time that you have to do that before it's finalized, and it's like, well, you take what offer we have now, or no, like, we're done, we're moving on.
That's just so crazy, though, to be like, okay, well, we feel like this role is significance, okay, like, say 50,000. Especially for, like, a role like Precious, though, because, again, I mean, if she, you know, I mean, she was in that movie significantly.
Yeah.
To just be only 50,000, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, that number is insulting for everything she did.
And... like, wow. I just, oh, you know, I mean... I have aspirations on being a executive producer, so one day I will find out.
And hey, I'm working on being the change in this business.
I'm going to figure out how they come with, so that I can definitely figure out, okay, we're not going to...
Yeah,
we're not.
No, we're going to find a way to find more money, or to cut costs on, like, equipment, or like...
Because I feel like it should be based off a role itself and those things solely, like, regardless of... what the you know, man, woman, what, you know, what I I feel like it would be based on that. Honestly, is that it would be based on, okay, who are you in the you know, in the script, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the script blatantly puts, you know,
people above others. Like, that really is true. Yeah. Unless you need someone for a specific part as a cameo, and it's like a special thing with them, because sometimes they'll do, like, even celebrities where they use their name as celebrities and then they'll come in. I think you should be paid extra, even if you're coming in for a line or two, if they're using your name and your likeness as a real person, because that has value too.
Right.
You know,
sure. That's why you got them
so
on there.
yeah,
To bring their people in. So,
yeah. So they might be lower on the number and get paid higher than the other people around them, but that's like the only case where
I just feel like if you have a TV show where it's just a family, right? Mm-hmm. And like I'm gonna just use this as an example, right? Like my wife and kids, right? Because example, husband, wife, 2 kids, right?
Three kids.
3 kids actually. Sorry, 3 kids. Sorry.
Which one did you forget?
Can't forget none of them. That's the problem. Okay. That's why I said 2. I don't know what I was thinking. So funny. But I feel like, granted, I'm pretty sure, like,
it's funny though because I can only remember Junior and Claire's name right now. I actually can't remember the little girl's name. I know that's
name. What it was. That's why I kind of.
I'm sorry, and she was so cute and amazing. She was such a great part of it, but I don't know why I can't remember her name now. I'm stuck in it.
Dang it! Because now you said it, I had the name. Her name is Katie.
Katie, yes. Okay,
oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I almost lost it, but yeah.
Sorry, Katie.
You were a very pivotal person.
Yeah, you were very important.
Very, very, very. Oh gosh, so. But I just feel like I wouldn't put a hierarchy between Junior and Katie. I feel like they all the kids, so they all get the same wage. Just like I still wouldn't put the same thing between, because I can't even think the real names, but the show names.
No, I'm struggling.
Tisha Campbell and Wayne's.
I wanted to say Marlon, but I don't think it's Marlon.
That's definitely not Marlon.
Oh my god.
Butchering these people.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Wasn't his dad?
No, in retrospect,
Damon Wayne.
In retrospect, it was listed a lot of Waynes. Okay, sorry y'all. God.
Yeah. There are a lot. There's just 4 brothers, and then they got their own kids.
Yeah, it's just a lot of Waynes. But yeah, I would feel like I would put Damon Wayans over like Tisha Campbell. Like they should. I mean, I'm sure they didn't get paid the same. I'm sure, but I felt like because. But he
was a producer of it because the Wayans brothers did produce it. So there's also that.
But I just mean using that as an example.
Yes, sorry.
Just in retrospect, like
just as a cast.
Yeah, just as a cast.
Yeah, because I do think you should get a separate producer's fee, which you typically do. Yeah.
But I just mean like it was just like that cast alone because I felt like both of them equally carried the show to where, their role, like, to not them individually specific, I mean, their roles carried the show, equally, I feel like, but I'm sure that's not the case, but.
I mean, I'm sure he got paid the most.
I mean, right.
But he wasn't like everything. Yeah, so fair, because he had a lot of scenes on his own, too.
But still, I just mean, like, just getting cast, not individual at all, just as far as that role.
I meant like he had a lot of scenes on his own because he had seen his own work and stuff more than they would.
Oh, they were. Oh,
yeah, but like, I mean, not enough where there should be a huge difference in their pay at all. Right. They should definitely be very similar.
Definitely similar, like
very similar.
Definitely similar. Like I feel like if you're getting again like $1 million and this person is getting 50,000. Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, no, that's you should be getting $1 million, and they should be getting like 950,000. Yeah,
for sure.
At least 900,000, but really like 950.
I give them 20,000 difference. A $20,000 difference
scale,
on that scale is what I feel like a difference. Because I mean, but I don't know. But I know that's again. I know in the reality is that is not the case though, for sure. But I don't know. I just wonder how do they come up with those things though? Is my biggest thing to be like, you know what? We feel like no, we're not going to give you that.
Yeah, because if y'all know, let us know.
Because you're the wife. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? Yeah, no. We're just gonna go. We just give you. I feel like this where do you pull it? I mean, I don't know. Are people not negotiating harder,
or sometimes if they try to make you feel like they're gonna take it all away from you if you try to negotiate. Like, there's that kind of feeling too of like, well, is everything I worked for gonna get taken away because I tried to get what I'm due?
Oh, you're right. And that's what I said, because she was saying the same thing. Like, she got, she, of course, there's a lot of roles, clearly, like the ones we're talking about, that she didn't go for because of the pay,
Yeah.
That being the main thing, because she felt like it was low. But then again, like I said, I mean, some of those depends, though. Like, I think it depends on what the project is, too, because, again, it's like, in what we're asking, because some, we don't know we don't know what those roles were. It could have been literally 3 lines, and she's like, "No, I want 100,000." It's like, well, you don't,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You're not, so it could be some of those things. Or,
but there's reality in like you're paying for the name at a certain point once they get to a certain level of celebrity. So there is an extra bonus for them already being famous because the studios are getting paid out more because people already know them.
Right.
So it's like it's fair that they're asking for more once they're more known.
Right.
But it just sounds wild as a person who struggles to make ends meet when you hear the numbers. But then when you hear the numbers compared to the other numbers, and you're like, okay.
Right.
I get it. It's not fair.
Well, But listen, problems I would love to have.
I know. But it takes. I mean, she's been grinding for years. Like it's like a lot of these people have been putting in decades of what we've been doing for, a decade or something,
less, right.
or less, yeah. So, it's...
All right. Well, listen, y'all get us on. Share our faces to the
Yes,
world.
please.
So that these production companies are begging us to be in their stuff.
Even though they might be a little mad at us, but hopefully we'll work with the ones that agree.
Agree.
Because we're going to change it if they don't.
Come on now.
So, come on. Or that we can get enough... power and mobility to be the change and create everything that we are working on for our future and for our own production companies.
And I think that that's going to be demands on all of us in the same way, that we will do these strikes for, kind of ourselves in that sense, or even still as a group, as far as the union go and support one another. I think that we have to be doing that same thing continuously, not just when there's a strike going on and then that's when we're supposed to fight. But I think we have to continuously fight actively while we're doing these films and these projects as they're happening, so that we won't even have to need to strike. We won't even have we won't even have to strike because we've already been policing during the time. If I know that a coworker of mine is not getting paid the same, then I should stand up for that coworker while we're actively in the production, while we're actually in the film. I think the more that we could do that and police these productions and these production companies as we're doing it, then that puts greater power and force behind it.
And it's the power in numbers too. You can't have just a few speaking out, or else they're gonna start getting punished. They're not gonna get roles, and then everybody else is gonna be too scared to speak out. So it's like as we all collectively continue to speak out, then that's how we actually make a change faster. Like the change is in numbers, and it's been proven throughout history in several different types of examples that we have to come together for a collective good.
Agreed. Definitely agree. I think that is the...
Yeah, so tell your friends, tell your wife. We telling everybody out here.
So everybody. You know what I'm saying? We keep fighting, keep making, progression and, positive impact towards, the future that we want to see, especially in this industry, as we still try to make our way into this industry.
Right.
We definitely want to be able to go into something and know that we're going into something that we're going to be able to ultimately benefit from. Because like you said, I mean, across the board, it's a lot to get into this thing. Like you said, you're doing stuff from the beginning, having to come out of pocket in the very beginning just to make it and be that struggling actor, or whatever the case may be.
But a lot of times once people make it, they are still actually struggling and doing the same thing. It's just that their name has notoriety, and it takes a while for them to stop having to pay more than what they're really getting.
Yeah. Because it was just still crazy across the board in that regard, because again, it just comes down to to the main source. The main source of all of this could all be so simple if y'all would just open up the purse just a little bit wider, just a little bit.
Because we know you got gold bars up in there,
Right,
like,
just a
and then you
little
have a
bit.
whole walk-in closet of gold bars at home.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like the size of my entire apartment.
Right, because that's what Monica said. She was like, "Yo, where is?" She said they paid me $50,000. She said it took $10 million to make Precious, and they made $47.5 million. So that's why she was like, "Where the loot at?"
Yeah.
and the thing about these productions is, typically and mostly everybody's already been paid.
Yeah.
Before, you know what I mean. So expenses cleared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So listen,
Yeah.
where is the receipts?
Because the residuals, and no matter what it is, the residuals really aren't that much. Like the studio collects on that, you know?
Right, collect.
So, and then they're not even trying to pay for a press tour. Like, it's like,
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's
That's
wild.
wild.
That is wild. Now, granted, I guess, before the press tour, before the movie came out,
They didn't know.
They didn't gross that at the time. So,
But they knew it was gonna, like,
but I feel like that's supposed.
I know that it exceeded some expectations, but they knew it was gonna be big.
Right, I agree with it too. Cause I feel like they wouldn't have put that money into, especially
No.
I don't see Oprah and Tyler Perry putting that kind of money in something they didn't think
Right.
wouldn't
Right.
do
No.
well. It wouldn't do something.
Yeah.
So sounds like, listen, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely currently out of my pay grade. So
Yep. And
but,
look up a lot of information about all the bigwigs, unfortunately including Oprah, but she ain't the only one, and she ain't the one that started all this mess. So I want to look at all the other ones that are doing the same thing, if not worse.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, there's
well,
a lot of that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Fight them every day. It's one step at a time. We will rip the wigs off the big wigs.
absolutely, one day, every day. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I have. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I'm sorry. Sorry, we ended on kind of a sadder note.
Right, he did. Yeah.
But I hope it did. I hope you learned from this episode. I hope it meant something to you. Hope it inspires you to do more research and share more knowledge with the people around you. Share it publicly online as well. And get talking, because the proof is in the pudding and the proof is in numbers.
Absolutely.
So as long as we can keep on having conversations like this, they're eventually going to listen.
Absolutely. That's what you have to keep doing, for sure. So, yeah.
Powers in the people.
Powers to the people.
Let's change the damn game, y'all.
Absolutely. Agree.
But again, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
yes.
us. We appreciate y'all. We love you so much.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Love you. Bye.